Today we have doing demonstration to you class 3 cavity preparations. Class 3 cavity preparation is a caries or lesion occurring on the proximal surfaces of anterior teeth. We have two approaches for class 3 cavity preparations. The most common is a palatal approach for the purpose of aesthetics, and the second is a labial approach with a provisionalizations and some of reasons to be starting from the labial approaches. The palatal approaches we have, in the first we have three types of class 3 cavity designs. Number one is the GV black conventional cavity, and design 2 is a pivot conventional cavity, and the last one is a modified design cavities. The first design of GV black cavities have these three types of designs. Number one is a design in which all margins is enamel and confined within the coronal portions, and second one is a combined design which included enamel margins, part of enamel margin on the coronal portions and part of the margin is within the roots. The third design of GV black, of conventional GV black, is a conventional root design where all cavity margins is on the root surfaces. Today we have to show you the demonstrations about the conventional and bevel designs of type 1, which the margins, all margins is within the enamel. Class 3 cavity preparation on the upper left center. The first step, you should be marking the cutting area like this using pencil. You have to draw the outline, the expected outline for, like this. This is the expected outline form for conventional design of class 3 cavity, which you have to call GV black designs, which in the past it was filled with amalgam restorations, because in such age and in such date the only materials available is a amalgam restoration. So GV black used this design and then the conventional designs which all margins in enamel for amalgam restorations. Then after pencil marking, we have to use the preferable pair used in this designs is a carbide round pair, small size according to the size of lesions, diamond or carbides. The cutting should be perpendiculars at the enamel surfaces like this, in the area of incisogingival caries like this, perpendicular to the palatal surfaces or to the enamel surfaces like this, incisogingivally in the central of marking area of cutting. Then starting points or starting entry, it should be from distal or mesiolingual direction like this, with the neck of the round pair toward the gingival embrasure like this. So this direction give you parallel, you should be parallel to the enamel rods in this area like this. This is the right entrance on the right direction of gaining access. On the other hand, if you have entrance from this direction, this is a wrong direction. This is not parallel to the enamel rods in this area. So you have goes or entering into the surfaces like this, from mesiolingual direction or mesiolingual angle or mesiopalatal angle, you have to say. The outline form I mentioned before, it was like this marking, pencil marking, like this, and the design is called conventional class 3 or GV black conventional class 3, which included enamel margins, or all cavities margin is confined within the coronal portions. Starting beginning axis with slowly speed like this in the central of this marking area, in close as much as close as possible to the adjacent tooth, like this. I had mentioned before, your cutting should be intermittent work, not continuous. And check up cutting, every cutting you have to check up the cutting and what is the depth and what is the outline and so on. Enlarging the cavity with the same bear, or you have to change the bear with another one, for example inverted cone bear or Fisher one. But it is possible to complete all your cavity or your cutting with the round bear, which you have to start with it like this to create outline form, conventional outline form Inciso gingivally with a depth of, during this step you have to establishing the axial wall in a depth ranging about from 0.2 to 0.0 millimeter from the cave surface margins. Finishing of cavity walls like this, gingival, this is a gingival wall, incisal wall, axial one, to be at a depth as mentioned 2 millimeter up to 5 or 8 millimeter from the cave surface margin. Directions as principally the direction of gingival or incisal walls, it will be parallel to the incisal edge, and the gingival wall as we well known according to principles of GV black cavities, it will be parallel to the perpendicular to the axial long axis of central incisors, or long axis of tooth like this, perpendicular to the long axis of tooth. In a large conventional class 3 GV black cavities, we have to perform or establishment axiogingival grooves here in this line angle, and inciso axial grooves in this, like this, at the incisors, like this, using a Fisher pair, very small size, or round pair number 0, like this, at axiogingival line angle and at inciso axial line angles. This is in a large cavity for enhancement retentions in case of amalgam restoration, and also in a inciso axial line angle in these corners. And I had mentioned this is only in amalgam restorations for retentions, for the purpose of retention, while for composite thread restorations we don't need to perform these grooves. But the retention, it will be completely with a bonding agents or with adhesives. And this is needs to bevel, which is coming after GV black designs, and it was a number 2 designs which called the beveled conventional design. With a 45 degree from the long axis of tooth, we have to adding a bevel starting from incisal and goes along the margins from incisal up to gingival like this, with a 45 degree using flame shaped diamond or round bear like this, and then the palatal margin. Short bevel is enough, and gingival walled like this. As mentioned, this is in a large cavity and using of composite rhythm restoration. This is the final designs of class 3 conventional class 3 cavities of GV black cavities with a features as mentioned: incisal, gingival, axial, labial walls with a bevel all around the margin and the 2 retentive grooves at the corner axiogingival and axio. Thank you.